Hello friends, in today's video, let us learn about nuclear reactor. So we have already learned nuclear fission and controlled as well as uncontrolled chain reaction. In an atom bomb, an uncontrolled chain reaction is used to produce huge amount of energy instantaneously. But in a nuclear reactor, we use chain reaction or the nuclear fission process in a controlled manner to produce energy at a constant rate. So first, we will allow the nuclear fission to happen and achieve a steady state. After achieving this steady state, the nuclear reaction is controlled and the energy production is maintained at a constant level. The energy produced from this process can be used for electricity generation and other very useful purpose for the humanity. So in this video, we will learn about different parts of a nuclear reactor. Mainly, a nuclear reactor consists of the following parts: a nuclear fuel, a moderator, neutron reflector, a cooling system, then the safety system and the control rods. So as we see in this picture, the different parts are aligned together to produce nuclear energy through this reactor. So the main part, as you see, is the nuclear fuel. Sometimes uranium is used as the fuel, and the uranium is placed as rods within this nuclear core, within the core of this reactor. And this uranium will be undergoing nuclear fission, as you see here, will be undergoing nuclear fission. And to maintain this fission in a controlled manner, we have other systems. For example, we have moderator, then we have the control rods. To take away the heat, we have the coolants, and for reflection purposes of the neutrons, we have a reflector here, and finally, this nuclear core is placed under a shield or a safety system to prevent radiations from going outside. So we will see the duty of each of these parts in this video. First of all, the most important part of a nuclear fission reactor is its nuclear fuel. So we know each fission process will produce huge amount of energy. In the case of uranium-235, we calculated that fission of each atom will be producing approximately 200 mega electron volt of energy, and that is a very huge amount of energy. Similarly, there are other fissionable materials that can be used, and normally we use materials such as the uranium isotopes, U-233 or U-238. Then we have the thorium isotopes, which is used in thorium reactors. Thorium-232 is its mass number. Then there are plutonium isotopes that are often used in breeder reactors. Pu-239, 240 and 241 are used as fissionable materials. So these different materials can be used in a fission reactor based on the availability of these materials. So normally we have uranium isotope as our nuclear fuel. Now moving on to the second part of a nuclear reactor. The first part is the nuclear fuel. The second part is the moderator. First of all, let us think, what is the purpose of a moderator? We know the chain reaction produces neutrons that are very fast moving, and these fast moving neutrons are less effective in causing the fission of uranium-235. So if neutrons are of very high energy and are moving very fast, they will try to escape from the reactor. They will not try to collide with the uranium-235. They will be trying to escape from the reactor because they have very high energy. So the energy of the neutrons should be brought down to improve the efficiency. So to improve the utilization of these neutrons, their speed should be reduced. And it is done by colliding these neutrons with the nuclei of other materials which are lighter, which does not capture the neutrons but scatters them. And when the neutrons undergo collision with these nuclei, they will lose energy and they will hence lose their speed. And the materials that are used for this purpose are called moderator. And these slow down neutrons, they are often called thermal neutrons because they have the energies in the order of the room temperature energy, and these can easily these can easily be captured by the nuclear fuel and the chain reaction will continue smoothly. So this is the purpose of a moderator, in order to slow down the fast moving neutrons and hence to carry out the nuclear fission process. Now, the commonly used moderators are graphite, heavy water, beryllium, etc. So the characteristics of these are, they are of low atomic weight, because then only they will be able to absorb maximum energy from the neutrons and to slow down very fastly, and they have low absorption cross section for neutrons. By absorption cross section, it simply means that they will not be absorbing many of the neutrons. So a moderator should not absorb too much neutrons, because their duty is to provide as much neutrons within the required energy range for the fuel. So they should not reduce the number of neutrons, and hence they have very low absorption cross section for neutrons. They will have very less capacity to absorb neutrons. Then moving on, the third part is the control rod. Now, the control system, the control rod enables the chain reaction to be controlled and prevent it from spontaneously running away. Because we know the chain reaction can often get into an uncontrolled fashion. For example, we know in each uranium fission, for example, 2 to 3 neutrons are produced, and each of the neutron will again undergo fission with other uranium nuclei, and in that process as well, more number of neutrons are produced. And if the neutrons are getting multiplied like this in a geometric progression, soon the reaction can go out of hand. So in order to control this, the number of neutrons should be maintained at a constant level at each levels. So for that purpose, we introduce control rod into the nuclear reactors. For example, control rods like boron, cadmium, which have large neutron absorption cross section, is used for this purpose. Control rods are for absorbing neutrons, right? They should be able to absorb the extra neutrons, and they should be able to control the number of neutrons. And for that purpose, they should be able to control and absorb the neutrons that are in excess. That is why a control rod should have large neutron absorption cross section. Whereas in the case of moderator, we saw it should have low absorption cross section for neutrons, because the duty of the moderator is not to absorb neutron but just to reduce its speed, and the duty of the control rod is to absorb excess neutrons, and hence they should have a large neutron absorption cross section, and these rods absorb neutrons and hence cut down the reactivity. For example, if we need to slow down the reaction, the control rod should be pushed in, and the operation of the reactor can be made to die down. So introducing the control rod into the system, pushing down the control rod into the reactor core, the number of neutrons will be suddenly reduced and the reactor can be made to die down soon. The reaction can be controlled within a short span. If you pull out the control rod, the reaction will build up, because more number of neutrons will be now produced. There is no one to control the number of neutrons, and the reaction will multiply very fastly. The reaction will build up. So control rod can be inserted or exerted from the system in order to have a reaction rate as we want. So let us have a quick look at the parts of the nuclear reactor that we have studied until now. We know the main part is the fuel rod, uranium. Usually it is placed as rods. So you can see here this golden colored rod here is one of the nuclear fuel. Then again it is placed at some distance from each other, because if it is placed all together, we will not be able to control the reaction rate. And in between these uranium, we have moderators. So you can see here the moderator, which is usually carbon or graphite, is placed in between these uranium fuel rods. So if a neutron is leaving this fuel, well, before it reaches the second uranium, it will have to pass through moderator. and it will be slowed down by the moderator. So the neutrons that are released from one of the rods will reach the other rod only after slowing down, only after getting into the suitable range for nuclear fission process. Now the control rods are of adjustable height. They can be inserted or exerted. If the neutron number is to be increased, control rod will be taken out. Then the neutron will multiply and more number of neutrons will be produced. But if neutron number is to be reduced, control rod will be inserted into the system and the control rod will absorb these neutrons because they are now more inserted into the system, and hence the number of neutrons will be reduced and thus the fission process will also be reduced. So this is how the nuclear fuel, the moderator and the control rod functions within a nuclear reactor. Now moving on, the fourth part of a nuclear reactor is a reflector. Often the parts that we have already mentioned, the uranium fuel, then the moderator, the control rods, all these are usually covered by a reflector. As you see here, this reflector covers all these parts because leakage of neutrons can be very much reduced by the use of a reflector. Otherwise, the neutrons that are produced within the system can easily leak out through the reactor, and hence it will increase, a reflector will increase the neutron flux in the interior of the reactor. So if a neutron is trying to leave this system, it will be reflected back by this reflector and it will again be contained within this system itself. So we can maintain a constant level of neutrons, number of neutrons within the nuclear reactor. And for that, materials of high scattering cross section, not absorption cross section, you see here a scattering cross section. That means they will be able to scatter neutrons into the system. So high scattering cross section materials and low absorption cross section. So a reflector should not absorb the neutrons. If a reflector is absorbing neutrons, that means the number of neutrons will be reduced by its use. So materials of high scattering cross section and low absorption cross section will be used as reflectors. And moving on, the fifth part of a nuclear reactor is the cooling system. So as its name indicates, it is to remove the heat evolved from the reactor core. And how this heat is evolving? The heat is evolved from the kinetic energy of the fission fragments. We have seen in the earlier video, in the energy released in fission, we have seen that 80% of the energy in a nuclear fission is contained as kinetic energy of the fission fragments. And this that means almost the majority of the energy from a nuclear reactor should be contained as kinetic energy of fission fragments. And these kinetic energy, these fast moving fission fragments are slowed down within the reactor, and this slowing down will release huge amount of heat energy. Kinetic energy is converted into heat energy, and this heat energy should be taken out from the nuclear reactor, and for that purpose we use coolants. Water, steam, helium, carbon dioxide, air or molten metals such as molten metals and alloys are used as coolants. Their duty is to take out the heat from the reactor core. The coolant is pumped through the reactor core and is allowed to absorb the heat from the reactor core. Then through a heat exchanger, the coolant transfers the heat to the secondary thermal system of the reactor. So with reactor, so you can see here, so these are the parts, the core part of the nuclear reactor. The fuel is there, moderators are there, control rods are there, other systems are there, and through this system the coolant, here it is water, the water is passed through this reactor core, and water when heated will be converted into steam, and the steam is taken out through this valve. So constantly, since the water is passing through the system and getting converted to steam, heat will be released from the system, and this steam which is in high pressure can be taken out and used for generating electricity. So that is how the nuclear reactor will further work. Now finally, another part of the nuclear reactor is its safety system. Safety system is to protect the space surrounding the reactor against intensive nuclear neutron flux and gamma rays. So we know inside the nuclear reactor plenty of high energy neutrons and gamma radiations are there, and it can be harmful for the living systems surrounding the nuclear reactor. So to protect that, massive walls of concrete and lead are made surrounding the reactor core to protect the system. So you have seen plenty of pictures of nuclear reactors, and often you see a picture like this. This shield of concrete is to protect the outside region from the gamma radiations and neutrons that are present within the nuclear reactor core. So outside this part, there will be very less amount of radiations and high energy neutrons. So that is the function of the safety system or the shield. And with this we come to a conclusion. I hope different parts of the nuclear reactor is useful, easy for you. You have understood the basic concepts of a nuclear reactor. Thank you.